Hello, my name is Osasa Weka-Smith, and I'm the founder of the Edmonton Natural Hair Show and the Mary Times Natural Hair and Beauty Show. This is our 2021 virtual natural hair show. This live stream is the first session of the day 2 and final day of the event. Before we dive in, I would like to take the chance to say thank you to the Alberta Public Interest Research Group for sponsoring this year's event. How this session is going to work today is that I'm going to hand things over to Dr. Wong, and she's going to take it away, and I'm going to get off the screen and hide in the background and monitoring the comments if people are commenting, and later on and troubleshooting any tech issues if there's anything happening. And later on, when she's done speaking and giving you the details and information about caring for your hair, I will pop back on and we'll start a conversation and go from there. Now, let's dive in. Dr. Wong.
Wow, good afternoon, good morning, depending on where you are watching from. I'm truly honored to be a part of such trailblazer woman that is a part of this vision and the vision in itself. So I am just so super happy to have this opportunity just to share a wee bit about the science of hair, particularly the importance of conditioning. And I'm a little bit of a science geek, or I just love the law of attraction. So I'm going to present from that. So, in a condition, the conditioning, as we know, it's a softening agent. But before it becomes the softening agent that we use or should use to soften our hair in terms of make it more pliable to handle, to comb, and of course to hydrate. I just want to give a little bit of a scientific history of, as I said, the importance of shampoo, but hair in itself. So hair is not disconnected from the body. And my caption is healthy body produce healthy hair. So I'm going to present from the internal aspect and the external aspect of the importance of wholesomeness of hydration that will manifest itself through the sebums, which is your oil glands in the body, to the hair, and of course the external factor in terms of what you physically apply to the hair. So your body in itself is a lump of cells, and each of these cells have particular narrative. The inner cells have what is known as charges, and charges is the area of my specialty, which is known as minerals. And minerals are the spark plugs to our lives. Minerals are everywhere. It's found in the crust of the earth. And they have different components that are wholesome. And when they get together, meaning a positive interacts with a negative, you have a neutral charge. And really, that's what a condition is about. It neutralizes any kind of magnetic charge that flows through the body into the hair. So when I say charge, for example, you may have grazed your hand upon a surface or walk around without shoes or someplace where you experience a charge. That is what we're talking about. That's a mineral effect. And it flows on the inner part. And of course, when you choose a conditioner, where I'm going to focus on identify the importance of those charges and how those charges can be identified, I should say, when it comes to choosing your conditioner, hence some that are more moist and some that are a little bit watery concept, and that has to do with that particular charges. So in terms of the minerals itself, as I said, there are two components on different parts of what is known as a periodic table, and they get together and they create a charge, and then there's a neutral charge, and that is the overall concept. Because the hair is not disconnected from the body, I think it's also important that I express a little bit about the importance of maintaining healthy body structure, or sebums or lipids, which are oil molecules within the body structure. So as I said before, we're a lump of cells, and in the cells there are charges. I spoke about minerals. So cells get together and they mitose, meaning break apart, and they create new elements and new units. And cells combined together create what we know as tissues. Tissues combine together and they form what is known as organs. And organs is the organ system we know as your lungs, your heart, your liver, and so on. And then we have really an organ system, which is the human system, is composed of various organ systems. All of these systems are interconnected. They must communicate. They must communicate in order for your sebums to secrete moisture from the inner part. I want to be clear that the most important moisture that we can offer our hair is that which comes from within. From an internal aspect, when there is a stimulation which is more likely produced from neurons or nerve endings, um, it secretes sebums, and that's the first moisture, natural moisture outside of the 70% or so that the body is composed of water. The second level of moisture is in the oil glands, and it's secreted from the nerve system. And that in itself secretes through the follicles onto the hair shaft, and that's your first moisture. One of the most important thing to do, especially when well, not just natural hair, but when you have hair, stimulation is important. You actually encourage moisture, natural sebums to carry moisture on the hair shaft when you massage it, shampoo it, you brush it, you comb it. And I know we are very creative, especially women of color, in terms of the braids or the locks or the style in itself, where perhaps you cannot or you do not have the free will of running your fingers, the palm of your fingers or the balls of your fingers through your hair or on your scalp. There are other measures that you can do, and I encourage use a soft toothbrush. You know, the ones that more likely they recommend for children. Good stimulation, soft stimulation is equally important, even when your hair is in a bind style, braids, dreads, or so on. As I said, that's the first conditioner that the body naturally produces. So if you're in a place of you have a diet and nutrition and imbalanced nutrition, perhaps it's lacking minerals, it's lacking, your body's lacking absorption, which absorption is the first line of defense when it comes to your autoimmune system and your overall system working in an interconnection of wellness. If you're having a diet that is composed of whether it's starchy food or just starchy food, or it's not balanced with all the recommended food groups, and I know there are different patterns of lifestyle, whether you're vegan or a vegetarian or a meatitarian, or so on, you still have to have an equal amount of water. You still have to have a balanced amount of all of the groups together, because, as I said, absorption is the first line of defense. And if your body is not absorbing all the key minerals, as I indicated, that the minerals are the spark plugs to our lives, and everything around us is encouraged or is a product of a mineral, even our cell phone, this overall podcast, sitting in front of a computer, the clothes that we're wearing, everything about the earth in itself and the product of the earth, it's a combination of minerals. So when you actually source food, it's a medicine that encourages minerals, and the foods that we eat ought to be equally balanced within our body system. The flax oil, the omegas, whether you're having fish or you're having the broccolis, all of these key minerals, believe it or not, internally, it actually brings forward conditioning to the hair. So there has to be a balance. Another key thing that supports conditioning of the hair, and I'm talking, like I said, we're going to do it in two parts. Internal is proper rest. When the body rests, or one of the key minerals that charges just about all the enzymes and the systems in the body is magnesium and zinc. These are minerals, again, that supports the sebums, the natural conditioning process in order for the hair to be moist. Let me focus a little bit, say, for example, on zinc, which is another key enzyme that charges about all the enzyme there is in the body system. If that particular mineral is off, your hair will be dry, and it doesn't matter what you apply externally, the hair will always be dry, and the kind of dry that snaps like a twig. You can hear it when you put the comb through it, your finger through it, perhaps lying down. Your skin will be dry. Chances are the dryness will be accompanied by some kind of a dermatological challenge, whether it's acne or just your skin peeling, spots on the nails, flaking of the nails, breaking of the nails. And believe it or not, when a state of dehydration or lack of absorption, there is an unnatural body odor that comes from the various parts of the body. So conditioning, as I said, is much sourced from the internal aspect through balanced minerals. So now we move to the external factor. The external factor is just that, is what we apply. And I know over the years, I've watched some real trailblazers who have just been great. They're just great home chemists or chemists at heart, where you whether it's your legal marijuana mixed with some olive oil, or your aloe vera mixed with your coconut oil or your coconut milk. And I mean, I've seen some great recipes and great result. And you do get great result. And those are important in terms of home remedy. And there's so much more. But why those products work is because the minerals, the charge in the hair, which is just a mineral in itself, they hold, then they're neutral. It's a neutral territory. Remember I spoke earlier about the pH balance, the periodic table where there's a negative and a positive. So the reason why whatever you're applying to the hair, you actually see the definition, or the hair appears to, I use this word loosely, drink, absorb the product you're using. Why you tend to see more definition than other is because there is a balanced charge, a neutral charge that has happened, that is conditioned the hair in terms of the hair being pliable. So you're going to the store like most persons, and you want to pick up products. You want to pick up products in a sense, rule of thumb, really, what type of hair do you have? Now, let's put aside the external factor. So you're eating well, you're having your magnesium, you're having your zinc, you're at a place of good rest, good place of mind. I know in the state of pandemic, sometimes the mental aspect is a bit challenging. And that's something to be mindful of, because when your mental state or anything in your body that creates a shift, I call it a trauma, the body holds on to that, and a shift happens, and you will see it. A lot of times it manifests in a variety of ways, but believe it or not, it also will manifest in the hair. It will manifest on the skin. You will have sometimes unusual breakout, a sudden diffusing of the hair, to shedding. So it's not just the fact that you haven't applied anything internally. The body holds history, and you will see it in the hair when it basically starts to break or it becomes dry. So the actual external products that you should be looking for, or products, the conditioners, there are very different formulations. Water is a universal solvent, or the universal language that blends everything together. And believe it or not, water in itself, just like everything, as I indicated from the periodic table, has a negative and a positive charge. So those of you who miss the hair after for control, or shower without a shower cap, or just love running under the under the waterfall, that's the first conditioner. But the key to that is water in itself. Remember, I talk about the positive and the negative. Why after most persons, my hair feels dry after I just use water, is because there is just a positive charge. And with the positive charge, you have the drying. So hence you have to follow through, whether you're mixing the water with aloe vera, whether you're mixing the water with whatever other creative remedy or blended condition that is already pre-made, or you're going to expand on that. That is why it's important to get the additional blend together, because that would neutralize the charge, hence the dryness, and of course the body will absorb. Another key factor of a conditioner that you may want to look for is what is known as humectant. And simply that just means you're hydrating. That's really what it is. It's just binding the water with the chemical composition and neutralizing it, and you're applying it. And those are some of the key conditioners that we look for, but water is the first one. And we all can use that, but it has to be followed, or I encourage that you follow it with another form of formulation in order for it to be neutralized. Should your hair start drying, even your scalp, because as I said, the hair is a product of the body, it is connected. If you're having flaking, especially something that looks like cream of wheat or frosted flakes or something, a lot of time it is conditioner that, notice, I remember what I said, and this is the caption you take away, the neutralization of the mineral charge. It stays on the hair and it stays on the scalp. So if the hair is looking dull, if the scalp has flaking, buildup and stuff, we are trained, or we know this to be what is known as dandruff. 90% of the time, it is encased or coagulated oil that has hardened from the products that you've used that did not properly neutralize, is not properly neutralized. Hence, the charge in itself is positive and it stains the scalp. It coats the scalp. It coats the hair. And what happens when that happens? You become more itchy, sticky, flaky. It becomes dull. The dullness is just that. There is no reflection of a charge from the sunlight, which is positive, into the strand of the hair shaft that reflects the light. When you see the moist and natural glow, again, the overall minerals are neutral. So if the hair is looking dull, again, it's more on a negative charge. So those are some of the key things to take away when it comes to conditioning the hair. You should not only be focused on the outer part. Internal, which I think is a good 90% important that you definitely hydrate from the inner part. Because if you take care of the body systematically is designed to take care of itself. Nothing stops the body cell or the cellular structure to regenerate. Nothing stops that. Even when we pass, we die a couple of days, whatever cells started to mitose to grow within the body, it will definitely spurt out through the follicles. So the most important conditioner is that what you place on the inside in terms of, as I said before, all the required mineral. Keep one particular is the enzymes, which is the magnesium and the zinc. And I mean, there's so many others that you can do, but and every mineral in itself has a purpose or a specific purpose to support the organs, to support the organ system of various types. So when it comes to hair conditioning, overall good health, because these are key minerals that you do not want to be depleted in. And I'll just use this as a sidebar. If you've ever taken even a painkiller, if you've ever been on birth control, if you've ever taken a medication, chances are you have been depleted of these minerals. And it's something to be mindful of. So when it comes to optimum health, healthy body produces healthy hair. And the first line of conditioner restored in the body. When you're using a topical effect, the water is a good moisturizer to start with, but it's also important that you blend that with a neutralizer or blend together with whatever products or shampoo or conditioner that you're going to use. And then this in itself, once the pH, the minerals are neutralized, this is where you see the suppleness of the hair, the softness of the hair. And rule of thumb, I remember many, many years ago, the rule of thumb was when you comb your hair, we tend to have a habit to start from root to tip. When you've placed apply conditioner on your hair, even if the hair is just moist, it's equally important to go from tip to root, because when the hair is properly moisturized or conditioned, or in a sense, I'll use the other terminology, when the charges are neutral, the interconnection of the cells, the charges will be reduced. When the if your conditioner is not as neutral, you will have ripping and tearing and so on, which is known as breaking, or at some point you start snapping it, the split starts to occur, and then eventually it falls off. So at the end of the day, my encouragement when it comes to conditioners, or best conditioner to use, Let's focus on the inner part, the outer part. And you can actually use anything to be your conditioner. I remember even using fresh hibiscus blossom. That's a great one to blend with water, or a great one to blend with whatever conditioner you have, even aloe vera. Again, you just want to make sure that the key minerals, the now the substance that you've created, that in itself it is neutralized. And once those charges are neutralized, you definitely get great definition and great absorption that will occur into the hair shaft. And there's a little myth that I want to clear up when it comes to conditioner. I know I was one of those persons in a sense who got caught in information that was not scientific. It was more product driven, and that's something we need to be mindful of. Hair in itself is dead skin or dead cells. When I say that, it simply means there's nothing new that is going to come out of it. There are a lot of captions out there that that says revitalize the hair. In essence, it's a myth to say that when you apply a particular conditioner on the hair, if it's breaking, it's going to stop. That's not true. If the cell starts to split, the best thing is to cut it off, because nothing is going to stop it. The illusion is it coats the hair. And depending on whether it's a humectant background or a quat background, in terms of the formulation that they've used, all it's designed to do is temporarily stain the hair or glue the hair together. I shouldn't use the word glue, but temporarily bind the hair together. And eventually it's going to snap off. So once there is a splitting because the charges are not neutralized, the best thing is to cutting, because nothing is going to stop. There's no product, no conditioner that's going to do it. And there's another myth that says the directions may read something along the line of um, apply to hair, keep on for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 10 minutes. Simply what that means is the longer you keep the product on, it's just binding to the hair. And you find after the first use, you get a great definition, great hydration. And then you apply it again and you never get the same definition. Simply means all that is happening, there's a coagulation of coating that is happening to the hair. And the more you apply it, the more the coat. Later on, you find your hair start looking dull, itching, and you're like, what has happened? Or your hair is just way down and you're like, what is happening? So it simply means that what the main the product in itself is now staying the hair. So the longer you keep the conditioner on, that's really what it's doing. And I know there's some captions says you apply heat, you sit on the dryer, and so on and so on. And all of that works, but really what you're doing is staining the hair. You're coating the hair with the product because it's dead skin, it's dead cell. So nothing can revitalize it. The most that we can do as the best form of conditioner is keep the charges neutralized with the products that we choose. You know that, as I said, the hair is properly hydrated, because when you're combing through, all the charges are, the charges are neutralized when there is no resistance, there's no tangling. When there's tangling or some aversion that is happening, it simply means between your body biochemics and the product that you're using, it's more on a positive charge, which creates an aversion. So those are some of the key things. And I hope speaking about the myth really helps someone today, because I see it all the time where the direction is you apply it, and I have done it in the past. You religiously, you put the bag on, or I'm going to keep it on my hair, and so on and so on. And you get the result for a period, but after a while, your hair starts to decline because it's coating. And I always use this analogy to my patient. I will say, if you place your hand over your mouth and your nose and breathe, how long would that last? And it's okay, not very long. And then I'll say, okay. And then if you can't breathe, what happens? What reaction, what striking characteristic with the body now starts to demonstrate? It says, well, it's going to be an aversion, an aggravation. And that's what the itching is. That's what the burning is. Simply mean that there's something there that is hindering the absorption or natural absorption of the body. So the first conditioner is the sebums that which your body produces. And from what you place in the body, the natural sebums will come. And the other part of the external factor, the products that you're using, the conditioner oh, I should actually even offer this as a little nugget when you're selecting your conditioner for those who are not making it. Um, the hair itself on a pH scale, we talk about the positive and the negative, it should be around 7 is neutral, and hair in its natural state should be around 4.5. So a conditioner in its natural state should be more on that level. Anything over 7 get into an acidic, and again, that can cause another aversion in itself. But whichever route that you choose to go, if you're going to stick to something that is more acidic, which is over 7, or something above 7, or sorry, if you're going to stick to something that is, well, I was right before, if you're going to stick to something that is over 7 in an acidic state, or something higher than 7 in an alkaline state, at the end of the day, you basically want to make sure that it's neutralized. That's what conditioner does. It neutralizes the charges that cause an aversion. Aversion is something that looks like tangling and so on. And that's really what it's designed to do. Once we keep it neutralized, at the end of the day, like I said, the absorption comes in, the hair is more pliable and soft and manageable. And at the end of the day, you get the various lust that you're looking for. And for those who have extreme natural hair where you like to twist with conditioners and so on. And again, that's why the definition comes in, because you have bind it in a state, in a neutral state. That's why the definition comes in, because it's a neutral environment where you're not getting any definition, any texture, any kind of a suppleness or bounce. It simply means that the hair in itself, then it's not neutrally charged. Do I have any questions? I'm looking at my comments here. Oh wow. Okay. So that is the meat and potato, or for those who are vegan, the broccoli and the the asparagus of really what I wanted to share.
Asparagus.
I have to be so mindful because I'm used to saying meat and potato because it's a caption that most persons can identify. But then, being a vegan and stuff, it's like, wait a minute, no meat aspect here. So I have to bring up the broccoli and the asparagus.
Yeah, no, that was good information. I liked how you addressed it from the point of internal first, and then way outward. Even yesterday, throughout the sessions yesterday, we talked about that. That was the theme consistently. Starting within and working that way out, and the results of your hair. I'm just popping back on to see the comments and questions that people might have, and
so I'm reading one here that says, "I don't agree. Hair is dead. Once hair squeezes, produces out of your head, it is dead. Simply, it is dead because if you were to cut it with hence, when you get a haircut, that's why it doesn't bleed. Once there's no blood source, it is dead. But as I identified, hair is a product of the body. So it's not disconnected, it's a part of the body. Once it's produced outside from off the scalp, we're looking at a dead matter. It's connected to the body, but in itself, it's now a dead matter because there's no blood source in it. So that's why it's termed as a dead matter. I hope I've answered that question.
The next question that from Miss Ramdini, hope I pronounced that correctly, is how do you know the pH of products? She said, I just checked a few of mine, and it doesn't actually say. Yeah.
And that's a great thing to bring up. Most of the products that I've seen now, they don't. Back in the days, you would see it on the front. You would see it's 7 as a neutralizer, or it's 4, or so on. So I'm not sure how perhaps you can Google the actual brand. Maybe there's more information on the web, but it's supposed to have some some terminology of some sort in terms of an acidic base, an alkaline base, a neutral base. Those are key caption words. And another caption you could look for it. It will say something again. If you have high color in your hair, chances are it's more of an alkaline base because that particular product is designed to stain the hair. It could be something if it's a conditioner that the caption is to volumize. Those are some captions that said it's more on a alkaline state. But there should be some small writing that actually says whether it's 4.5 or 6 or thereabout. If not, again, it's something that you have to do independently to search to see exactly what is happening or what is the pH level of it. Or better yet, you can always get a pH stick. You can get them offline. You can get them at the drugstore and just stick it. And those who are making home remedies, just to ensure that the product you're using is neutralized, just simply get it. I don't think it's too expensive. Stick in the product, and if it's at a place of closer 7, as I said, or closer to between 4 and 5, then it's neutralized. And again, depending on what you're doing, if you're mixing your natural colors and so on, where you require a different level, then you basically just monitor it. So just buy your own pH stick at the drugstore or online, and you can do your own thing right there.
Do you find that those are effective, the pH sticks?
It will do the job compared to the actual machines that we use at the clinic just to really determine what's happening, but it will do the job.
Yeah. Okay. I just put a comment to address Tanya's comment about hair is possibly alive and not dead. And that comment is that as soon as that strand pops out of your scalp, right, it's not alive anymore. If you're looking at things from a scientific perspective, right?
Yeah. Once there's no blood source, and if you're cutting the hair and no blood, chances are it's dead. If blood is coming out, then we need to talk.
Yeah, that is all the questions that were in there. I do have a question for you. So let's say, just very, very simplifying this to the most simplistic form ever. Somebody who's, I don't know, out there new to hair, they don't know what to do, and they're in stores, they are seeing commercial conditioners, they're seeing and also researching and learning that, oh, I can do a deep conditioner, deep conditioning, like you said, sit under the dryer, all of that stuff. Can you clarify the difference for them? Like,
in terms of the different types of conditioner?
Yeah, it's like, oh, when should I go buy oil of conditioner and in the store and use that, or should I go sit under a dryer and do that?
So okay, so I'll do my best. So there are a variety of conditioners that are out there. It's like going to the cereal aisle. You get a whole variety of stuff. and the bottom line is they're all fundamentally made from the same thing, right? All made from the same thing. And at the end of the day is what you're buying into, whether it's smell. I talk about thickening shampoo, again, captions on word. There is porosity type of conditioner. And simply all that means is you've tangled your hair and they have put a little bit more charge in it to neutralize the hair itself so you can comb it through. There's humectant kind of conditioner. Again, that is filled, it's just a moisturizer. And again, all of these things are just equally balanced. But if your hair is at a high charge, this is why it will not work for you. Because some person said, well, I've used this and I've used this, or I can't use certain products, conditioner on my hair because my hair, it basically makes it difficult to comb out. It simply means that there is another level or a deeper level to look in terms of the charges in your body. For example, you could just be going through a chemical imbalance, which also factors the blockage of the sebum being secreted. So it's not just what you apply on the outer part, as I said. An important thing is what's happening on the inside will manifest or secretes through the follicle of the hair. And as a result of that, you basically will have some kind of a reaction. Dry conditioner. Why would you want to use a dry conditioner? Remember the caption, dry, okay? And conditioner, so much a conflict. Because I know at times, especially in seniors or persons on the go, they don't get a chance to, you know, get the luxury of using or shampooing the hair, and then basically doing the whole manicure to the head per se. They don't really get a chance to do that. Dry, lazy, okay, laziness. Okay, fine. I would recommend. She's like, I wouldn't recommend the dry shampoo for someone who is able, madam, to shampoo their hair. It's quite simple. Simple, what that means is I talk about when you apply products to the hair that doesn't rinse off properly, it coagulates. There's a buildup that happens. And at the end of the day, you're going to find that it's itchy and it's flaky. And can I share with you this key nugget? I talk about what we put on, what's inside the body manifests through the shaft on the hair. There's also the reverse. So when you apply dry shampoo, it's sticking to the hair. Because you are a lump of cell that generates sparks or heat, that is heating up and will be secreted back through the follicles into the bloodstream and into your overall autoimmune system. And I want to use this opportunity to share that these are some of the key factors that contribute to autoimmune diseases. So it's not something that you use for a long period if you're going to use it. It shouldn't be a lifestyle, but as I said, I know some person use it just for a quick convenient, but it's not something that should be a lifestyle. There's nothing I find more stimulating and engaging just to have water run off the head. You use your shampoo, you comb it through. It's just a beautiful experience, but I understand that everybody's lifestyle is different. But to the answer to the question, the dry shampoo, it shouldn't be a long-term thing, because as I said, everything that we apply on the scalp, on our skin, on our body, it will be absorbed. It will be absorbed back into our autoimmune system. And if the body cannot break it down, it stores it and it regenerates it. And out of that mass is what it factors an autoimmune disease. Whatever symptoms may come, who knows? But it's definitely an influencer for an autoimmune system. Something as simple as allergy, joint pains, headache, migraine, so many symptoms out there. So we also have to be very careful of that.
I do have a question just for anybody who's curious out there, because this is part of working from the internal outward, right? So for who's wondering, I really want to get into the rhythm of helping my sebum come out. Is there like a best way to expedite that? We all want something fast.
No, we shouldn't.
What is the process? What is the process or system for somebody who wants to get more into really supporting the production of the sebum in their hair to get that out?
So as I identified earlier, our body system interacts on nerve endings or neurons, and it sends all the different charges. So the fact that we're having this conversation, there's a nerve ending that is responding to our intellectual as to why we're having such a smooth flowing conversation. It's the same thing happening within our skins, on our skin. So the sebum, the skin in itself has, we call it really 3 layers. The one that you see, the dermis, the epidermis, the dermis, and of course the sebum. And what creates the sebum to be stimulated is just that, stimulation. As to why I was saying use a soft toothbrush or your fingers, the ball of your fingers are important to shampoo the hair massage the hair with the conditioner on it, because yes, the balls of your fingers, the balls of your fingers, or the palm of your hands type of thing. And really what that does, it sends the electrical charge, the information from the minerals to send the charge to secrete. So it's like putting oil or butter in hot pan, and the heat charge that is being sent from the pot itself, it reduces it liquefies, it changes the chemical dynamics from solid to liquid. That's really what is happening. So you find that in the cold temperature, most persons, like, my hair is dry, it doesn't matter what I do, and you're putting a whole bunch of different types of conditioner. The key conditioner that you should apply first on the inside, it's your fat, your good fat, whether it's your flaxseed oil, your omega oils, your vitamin E. That's what you want to put in. And that automatic, again, because you're alive, the heat in your body generates it, and then it secretes through the sebum. The outer part's the same process, right? So you want to keep the stimulation going. You want to massage. Definitely want to do that, because the nerve ending is just that. It's designed to process the information and stimulate it, send the message to the from the processing to really where it needs to go. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. I can talk. I just feel like somebody thought I was on mute or whatever. Yes, thank you. That helps. Good, healthy fats, and get that going on your scalp.
Yes.
I'm just checking through the questions again to see the comments, to see if there are any more questions. Only use it. Oh, yeah. No, it doesn't seem to. There are no more questions, it looks like. That's good.
All right.
Anything you like to leave people with, like a last takeaway? If they do one thing, let it be this.
There are. Oh, okay. We have another question. Did we?
Tanya is saying science is not flawless. Of definitely. When we think outside the box and defer critical thinking for set standards that formulate natural products, so I've had to consider outside. Okay, that's a statement, not a question. Okay, thank you for
All right.
Definitely all angles, look at things from different perspectives, of course. Yeah.
Right. I think I just got one. In terms of, they were talking about the water. What do I recommend to add to the water? Because I know a lot of persons, they don't use
I didn't see that
shower.
question.
Oh, I got it on my phone. Sorry. They they don't use shower caps, because they use the mist from their shower as the first sign of moisture. As I said, you could create your own spurts, your own natural spurt. You can add a little bit, and again, get the pH stick in terms of balancing this remedy. It could be a little bit of apple cider with a little bit of water, a little bit of aloe vera. That's a great aftercare, a great natural conditioner for your twists, to soften the hair, to comb it through, and so on. But again, you want to get the stick to make sure that it's not too acidic. Otherwise, your hair will become dry, or it will break. So whatever you're going to add to the water in itself, it's important that you get the pH stick, just to make sure that whatever you're applying is neutral, because caption to take away, if it's not neutralized, it's going to break, and that's not the result you want. So proper conditioner for your hair, it's definitely one that neutralizes, and you can tell, you can feel it. When a hair is neutralized, it is pliable. It is it's easier to handle. When I say easier, not in texture, it just simply means that it's more moldable. Wherever you place it, it will tend to, I use this word loosely, obey, in a sense. So that's something to really be mindful of. But if you're going to be home doing your stuff, just make sure the pH is normal, you get great results. And again, it's important. What's happening on the inside is it's more important than what's happening on the outside, because healthy body produces healthy hair in its condition, in its texture, in everything there is about it. So that's something to be very mindful of.
Okay. I'm just replying back to Tanya. Yeah, definitely. Science is not flawless. If anything, we are learning that during this whole COVID situation, and solutions that have been come up with, and so on and so forth. And it is no different in natural hair. For sure, it's good to think outside the box and look at things from different angles. No judgment there, absolutely. Any other comments or questions? I do not see anything. Anything on your phone or your end that you're seeing people asking?
I know. I think I have answered that question, and I've shared that aspect of it. As I said, the most important thing, your hair is a product of your body.
Yeah.
It's not a disconnect. And when you're having a traumatic experience in your personal life, it shows in your hair. It will show in your hair. So the best thing is to resolve the trauma, and you find the dynamics in itself, it will correct itself. Because the hair is as intelligent as you are. The body system is intelligent because it heals itself, it regenerates itself. And your hair is doing just that. And for everything you've been exposed to, physically, psychologically, believe you me, your hair is sharing that story. I wrote a book many years ago titled, What If Your Hair Could Speak? What Would It Say? And it's just that what you're experiencing, the hair observes that, and it definitely manifests its own language. So that's another key indicator in terms of trying to identify what is happening in the body system. And where the focus I'm asked to present on is on conditioners, which is important. The supple, the soft aspect of it, that's important. But the main thing, conditioning comes from the inside. And if you're using something that is of a coagulation, that is it's not going anywhere, it's not rinsed off, it's just staining the hair, or again, it's not being absorbed at the way it's supposed to, or you've had it on the hair for as long as they have instructed you, or you decide let's do it for an hour because it requires more breakdown. Sometimes it's creating an adverse effect because what you apply on the outer, it will be absorbed on the inner. And if the composition of the conditioner is of a synthetic base, meaning something that's more plastic, it will not break down. It's just designed. So I'll define that. The synthetic aspect is when you liquefy a plastic based component and you have make it pliable, and it stains the hair. And then at the end of the day, you find, oh my goodness, this is coating well. I love it. And then you try using it again and you realize you're not getting the same effect. If you got to keep reapplying the conditioner for moisture, it's actually taking the moisture, natural moisture. It's robbing your hair of its natural moisture. And if you keep doing that in the long term, more likely you may end up with something that is diagnosed by a medical doctor, like arthritis, aches and pain, joint. Like everything is connected. Everything is connected, and most persons do not equate using products, conditioners, whether your hair is natural or not, to various types of ailment or mental health aspect of self. And everything is connected. What we're exposed to, the psychological aspect, your cognitive thoughts, all of these things are connected. Here's a rule of tests that I recommend if you really want to know what's happening. Most conditioner, as we know, are fragrance with lots of floral scent or oil scent, or some even no scent. But even no scent is not much different from an oil scent because, as I said, strong possibility the composition, they're all derived from the same products or the same ingredient or active ingredient. And when you use the particular product and you find that the scent, their striking characteristic that happens, many of us are exposed to the scent, you become warm like a fever. You're having a reaction, even though it's a conditioner. Or you may get a slight headache. Some people tear up. So there's so many striking characteristics that says you're having a reaction to the conditioner, and cosmetic in its all. But since I'm asked to speak on conditioner, let's focus on that. And if you're having that and you've been using this product for a while, heck, if your mother's mother's mother have been using the product for a while, there's an interconnection of a transition that has passed down through your DNA. And here is it you are, and you're wondering how is it you have eczema or a skin disorder, a dermatological disorder, or sudden headaches and so on. At the clinic, at the Alaster Wellness Clinic, we do this mineral test, and again, comes back to the first thing I spoke about, right? And it shows that there's been a trace level of these particular products that you basically have been, your generation has been exposed to. And as a result of that, you're now having the effects, the ramification of generation past. So we have to be very mindful. It's not just using a product and applying. If you're having a chemical reaction or you're having a reaction, how subtle it may be, the body most of the time is reacting in a negative way. And if you trace it back or trace it forward, where you're like, I used to, I could go up the stairs, I could do all these different things at the end of the day. And now you're slowing down. Why? My joint pains are one of the key giveaways. Headaches are one of the key giveaways, and so on. Appetites for things that you normally do, taste budget, like it has the ability to create, to change the overall dynamics. Because don't forget, whether it's a conditioner, it's a subtle name, but it really depends on what is what it's made of, what is derived from, what are the active ingredients in the product that basically cause the reaction to occur. And once that reaction, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to react to you positive. This is why sometimes it's like, it shouldn't be just going to a store and you have thousands of choice. Sometimes it's good that you invest a little bit more to do different testing on your body and yourself to see what you are sensitive to, what is happening in the body, what is about to happen, through tracing effects. And then from that, you make selections. So it's a very important step. I call it an intimate step to your beauty. Because it's a final step, right? As the conditioner is a final step after you've done everything else to the hair. It's an intimate step, and at the end of the day, that intimate decision, we have to be so mindful. Another thing that is connected to a conditioner, that the actives are very carcinogenic, is infertility, hormone imbalance. Another thing that is equally important to know, nobody likes to talk about the C word, but it also, cancer is one of them. There's so much autoimmune sickness and diseases that may be factored from from the products that you're using. Why? Because everything, as I said, you apply to the hair, even in the name of a conditioner, it has the potential to be absorbed into the follicle aspect of the hair, through the gradual, the stratum layers of the cell, their structure of the skin, into the bloodstream. And once it's in the bloodstream, mixes it with oxygen, it's carrying throughout the body, it's transported throughout the body, the immune system. And as I said, the immune system is designed, it has its rhythm, and it doesn't know, it's not going to separate that, hey, this product is foreign or not. It's going to intertwine, it's going to interconnect with it. And then out of that, it has to put the possibility to create masses. And masses is, this is where the disorders comes in, whether it's going to be cancer, it's going to be all these different things. Of course, by a medical doctor, you're diagnosed with that. So we have to be so careful. So again, healthy body produce healthy hair. And the connection needs to be there. It really, really needs to be there. It shouldn't be a separatist.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Oh, Tanya, please don't make me cry.
Oh, Tanya, don't do that. I'm not wearing waterproof mascara. Don't cry. Knowledge is the most important thing that we can have on a day-to-day basis. And this is what this platform is about. We all need to be educated. We all need to utilize knowledge for our benefit, because ignorance is more expensive than investing in your health. And if we get it to the where we are right now, then chances are you either stop something before it develops, or at least you can know where to, what you're looking for, type of thing. So this is not a doom or gloom. It's to empower us, like just to be more mindful. And should there need to be changes in our community for yesterday we talked about keeping the money in our community, in terms of funding for science, for young scientists like myself and so on, creating product with the knowledge for our texture, our health and so on. This is where, strength in number comes in, saying, listen, based on our dynamics, based on our grouping and so on, these are some of the products these are some of the areas that we really need to focus on to enhance our health, because our health is important. Again, healthy body produce healthy hair. It's not the products.
Sending you a lot of air hugs.
Okay.
Thank you so much for this session. I hope it does help somebody out there with questions they have about conditioning their hair. And I know, me, particularly, I like that inside out perspective. It's how I like to approach life. And I hope that more people start doing that in terms of considering what we put inside our body, because it does affect the external that we spend so much money and so much time trying to fix
especially in our community. It's $1 trillion and industry. But listen, we've been sold some information that is factored on our health. It has declined. It's demised it in so many ways. Should we have the knowledge that we do now, half the things that we were succumb to, we wouldn't even look at it if we knew the underlining of really what it's designed to do. And as I said, it's present in our rate, especially in cancer. Black women have the most aggressive type of cancer. And this is not evidence-based, it's just Nadine talking here. Because the cosmetic is the key factor that we're all exposed to. I personally believe that there is that's the door opener right there. In spite of where we are raised, I think that definitely it's something that definitely needs more research, more funding for proving and for preventative measures as well.
Thank you so much. There you have it, folks. I hope you learned something. I hope you got something meaningful out of this session. If you have any questions, you can connect with Dr. Wong directly. Do you want to just drop in your email and your website, your business name?
Sure. It's Alaster Wellness Clinic. Well, alasterwellness.com is the website. I just simply give the number, which is 905-831-4325. And I'm located in Pickering, Ontario, and it's 1400 Bailey Street, Unit 8A. The best place to identify, we're right next to Pickering GO Station.
Awesome. And she does, folks watching, Dr. Wong does consult across Canada, internationally as well.
Yes, so we do. Yes, we do.
Drop her an email, and we could go on for days talking about the scientific aspect and practices and the different things you will try to get to the core of your health and dive in from that internal perspective to find you the best solution for your hair health.
Yes, and the takeaway, USA, that's fine. I've worked with persons as far as India and Watanabe. All we need is just your sample. We talk about the mineral test. All we need is a little sample of your hair, enough to cover a quarter.
Okay, that is my cue as well. It looks like Miss Dr. Wong has dropped. Oh, she's back on.
Sorry.
You dropped off for a minute because this session is over and I have to hop over to go start the next one.
Okay, I'm sorry, but
I hope you have a good Sunday.
You too. Thank you for the opportunity and have a great evening.
You too. Bye.